Okay, so this is my POL, and it's also my personal MPX learning experience from the first semester. Now, there's something you may not know about me, but I actually have a power, and so I'm not actually always here, my real self. I actually can clone myself. So some days you have like a certain clone of me instead of the actual me, and I'm just sitting at home doing nothing. So, haha. Now, I really like this quote from Abraham Lincoln: "A house divided cannot stand," because it's completely opposite to what my thing is. Because my clones have the unique ability, when they come back, whatever they did, I can understand it and I remember it in myself. So it gives me an advantage in that I can get a lot of things done, like at multiple times. But there can also only be 4 clones. So including me, I can only have 5 people doing something, which is still a lot, but there's sometimes not enough time to do everything. And so this is clone number 1 and his adventures in how he cooked part of Thanksgiving dinner for his family. And this is a salad that he made for his family for Thanksgiving. And the one before, that was a pumpkin crunch dessert for the family. And now, I personally have done a lot of cooking before that time and before my clones' experiences in MPX, because I'm a Boy Scout. And in Boy Scouts, we had to do a lot of cooking for our own patrols. And we didn't really learn how to cook. We had to learn our own techniques. So when we got to MPX and at KCC, my clone had a lot of trouble because he had his own techniques to do things, and they weren't the techniques we had to learn. So Chef Nat kept on coming up to him and saying, "You're going to cut your fingers off." So the main problem for that was that it was hard for him to adapt. But he eventually got it down, and he made that dessert and the salad. So this is clone number 2 and how he led his team to victory and how it almost drove him completely insane. So from this clone's experience, I discovered that there's something that a leader has to know how to do. You have to know how to balance yes or no. So when a team member comes up to you and they say, "Hey, can I do this?" Or "What do you think about this idea?" You have to know how to say, "Sure, okay, I'll listen." But you also have to know how to say no. If someone's fooling around, you have to tell them, "No, you need to get on task." And I think that's a really important part of being a leader, how to balance those 2 things. Because you really feel as a leader, should I listen? Because there were times when my team was arguing about certain things, and I knew that I needed to listen to both sides, but I didn't know if I should listen or if I should just say, "No, we need to do it this way because we're wasting time." And that's what this is. And the remote is supposed to represent that. Sometimes I wished I just had a little clicker so I could just mute people or make them change to a different channel and just do what I said, because that would have made things a lot easier. But I learned from my clone that you can't just do that. You need to make your own decisions about what you need to do. And so I finally got that perfect balance of it, and my thing that I learned that I got that balance from it is that we eventually became a cohesive unit, and we were able to finish our hydroponic system itself, though we have not started plants in it, and it's working and it's flowing and it's gotten checked off. So clone number 3, speaking 101. So if you look at the picture, it's about not being understood. And you need to be able to enunciate your words so that people can understand you. So, enunciate. You need to pronounce all your different things. And there's a thing about conveying what you really need to know. So, if you're sad about something, you need to convey that. If you're really passionate about something, you need to convey that. And to do that, you need to have eye contact. You need to look around the room. You need to know how to speak with inflection in your voice. You can't just be sitting there at a screen just talking from it, because that's not letting the audience know how you feel or what you need to know. And I learned that because from this. When we talked in front of a group of parents, me, Isabel, and Cole, we had to talk and we had to convey to them what we needed to do, what we needed to get done, why we needed these white vans. And I think it worked because we've gotten quite a good amount of shoes from these parents, and people that heard us. So. And clone number 4, his was how to register. And you may be a bit confused by what I mean by register. When I say register, I mean how to register what's going on around you. To look around at the world and to recognize what problems need to be fixed. How to address them. So this is a quote from Ban Ki-moon. Saving our planet, lifting people out of poverty, advancing economic growth. These are one and the same fight. We must connect the dots between climate change, water scarcity, energy shortages, global health, food security, and women's empowerment. Solutions to one problem must be solutions to all. And this is what I mean by recognizing. See, Ban Ki-moon understood that these are problems in the world, and we need to connect them. They're not all different. It's because if you solve one, you may not have solved another. For instance, global health. You want to give everyone food, right? You want to make sure that poverty and hunger is not a thing. But food security, if we need to create that much food, we need to have a way to reliably do it. Everybody may not be hungry, but if that only lasts for 2 years, after those 2 years are over, how are we going to continue doing that? And so that's why I really love this, and that's what my clone taught me, that you need to connect things and you need to register everything that's going on around you so that you can connect them and make it easier and safer to put them all together and solve them all. And so this is a quick infographic. The first infographic I did in STEM, or my clone did in STEM with Olivia and Danny. And it's a quick little infographic about the problems with sanitation in our world. And we didn't just hit about what's wrong with the sewer system. We didn't just hit on what's wrong about the pollution in Africa or China. We hit multiple things. We talked about how phones are unhealthy, as you can see from the little germs on the phone. We talked about, over here you see there's a child, and you can't really read it, it's kind of off, but it was about how children in Africa are dying because they don't have clean water to go to. And so this is what I think, even though it wasn't the best infographic, we were able to register everything that was wrong with that one problem and connect it and say what is wrong with everything, so that people who have the power to change it can. And this is my own personal experience. This was my favorite part of MPX, the fact that you can make your own fun. Here's a little song we made, and you can read it. I didn't have the time to sing it myself, and I wasn't very confident in my singing abilities either, but you can read it. And we made this in MPX while we were doing stuff, and we were just waiting around, and we decided, sure, let's make a little song for our documentary so that we can play it in the background. And it was so much fun to think about it. And it really taught me that about MPX and what it is. It's more than just about learning how to be sustainable. It's more than just learning time management and life skills. It's also learning about how to have fun, because what job do you want and you're just sitting at a desk not doing anything? You need to know how to put that extra little bit of fun, and I like that about MPX because it gives you that creativeness, that time to make things fun. And so that's what I learned from that. And this is my little thing to prove that, yeah, you can have fun. Thank you for your time.
Michael, what was the most difficult part about the PLO process for you?
The most difficult part was probably the script.
Okay.
Because I'm not a person that usually uses scripts. I don't like them. I find they're very confining. And so I usually don't like them. And so when we had to actually make a script that was like what we're going to say, I didn't. It was hard for me to put it all because I feel like I do best when I can just speak freely. So my script ended up not being really a script, but more of an outline, like say, touch on this subject, touch on this subject. So that's what was the hardest part. Any other